Hey guys, welcome to my channel, or if you're already subscribed, welcome back. This week, we're getting right into the video. So, for the first pal, I wanted to flesh out an idea I had while looking at the pattern on a giraffe. The darker spots on the pattern made me think of rocks floating in lava, or lava flowing down the side of a volcano. And on my reference board, I had a picture of a giraffe, a volcano, a Loch Ness Monster, and of course, I had to go ahead and throw in Lapras on there. However, this is not going to be a relative. And this line is going to have an evolution at the end of the video, so be sure to stick around to the end. I picture this species living inside of volcanoes, floating around in pools of magma, but sometimes they are spat out during volcanic eruptions, so though they are rare, they can be found outside of their natural habitat from time to time. Outside of volcanoes, they move almost like Diglett, but instead of seeing the trail of rocks like you see with Diglett, you'll see a pool of flowing lava. Their head and shell remain hidden until they've come to a halt. The Spanish word for giraffe is jirafa, and considering this pal is made of magma, I came up with the name.
Giraffe. This fire and rock type is rare, but it's a little more common after volcanic eruptions. They are immune to fire damage, as they will simply swim through the flames to deliver a powerful attack.
The species was originally going to be my fire starter, but I ultimately decided against that considering that this isn't the right body type for that. For pal number 2, I wanted to create a little version of me, and to be more specific, teenage me. I've always seen myself as more feminine, though I do still identify and feel male most days. I guess you can say that I was a femboy, but I don't think that term was around at the time. They just called me a fag. And one of the animals that has ties to femboys is cats. Some may argue and say that dolphins are the mascot, but I've already made a dolphin femboy in my healers video, so watch that next if you haven't. In Zapotec culture, which is in ancient southern Mexico, femboys were referred to as muxe, and they also took on more roles and job titles that was more typical for women at the time, such as crafters, caretakers, event organizers, and beauticians, which I kinda laughed whenever I read that just because those are literally all things that I do. I chose to give this species a hoodie because I was always wearing baggy clothes over my feminine clothes in school and in public. A few days after I broke up with my first boyfriend, I got a weird text from him saying something like, "I miss when you would bite my arm." So you'll see that I made an ability based on that.
Mushe. This species prefers to live in cool and comfortable conditions, away from the pals that stank. They don't pay rent, but they contribute in other ways and always make sure you have a happy home. Beware of their bite if you don't want to become a slave to your infatuation.
Let's move right along to pals 3 and 4, which is actually a design I'll most likely be reworking in a future video. I am overall liking where this design ended up, but I do think the fish and the goat could have better designs individually. A little insight into this design, I wanted to enter my first art competition thing that Jake's Fakes was holding. The challenge was to make a Fakemon based on one of the zodiac signs, and being basic AF, I decided to do a Capricorn because, spoiler alert, I'm a Capricorn myself. Now that the competition has come and gone, I can share the designs with you all. And might I mention, I did not win, nor was I expecting to. I remembered about the competition on the last day of entries, so this design is highly rushed, and I knew I wasn't going to come up with the concept worthy of winning on such short notice, but I still wanted to see what they thought of my art style. And while they didn't dive into all of that on the video, everybody in the Discord server loved my art style. With all that being said, I think I'll be throwing myself into more art competitions, but I'll definitely have to put more thought into concept, because the idea behind this pal was literally just that the goat is wearing a fish like a hoodie.
An epic battle in the Waybacklands ended with a sea beast swallowing a landwalker, killing both of them. They sunk to the bottom of the sea, and landed on a wishing stone that pierced their hearts together, reviving them as a singular entity. Abilities seem to be ineffective around this pal.
Pal number 5 brings you yet another pal I conjured up using absolutely no reference board and no concept in mind really. I just sat and started drawing. These pals always take the longest for me to flesh out, I guess since I'm making it up as I go along and also trying out loads of different shapes and proportions before landing on something that actually looks right. But I'm not gonna lie, these always end up being some of my favorite creations. Seeing what my mind spits out is kinda cool to me because these aren't creatures I necessarily pictured beforehand. Once I decided on the ear shape, I immediately pictured this species taking flight much like a sky dancer, jumping and spinning like a propeller for added air and hang time. I also picture them sleeping in a pond, pretty much fully submerged with only their flower crown floating atop the pond. The name is pretty self-explanatory, but I combine the words lock, like a lock of hair, with the word thorn in a very uncreative way to come up with the name.
Lockthorn, the poison grass type. This species releases pollen while in the air. This pollen will not only calm allies down, but will also make crops grow faster and yield a bigger harvest. The pollen is known to irritate and confuse alien species.
For the sixth and final pal of the video, I bring you the evolution to Jiragma. So, technically, I did draw this guy first, but then I decided that it needed a baby form. Since the preview was in the beginning of the video, you should already know that this guy is a hybrid of a giraffe, the Loch Ness Monster, a volcano, and I guess you can say that it's gonna be a part turtle as well. And just a reminder, even though Lapras was on my reference board for this guy, this is not going to be a regional form, but I'm sure some of you people will see it as a convergent form. At this adult stage in life, I would think that they still typically live inside volcanoes, but instead of being immune to fire, they are now immune to water, not necessarily as part of their ability, it's just that their body is too hot for water to physically reach it. It will just evaporate. So, if an enemy is standing too close while attacking with special water attacks, they'll probably be burned by the steam. Much like the Prevo, I combined the word Girafa with the word lava to come up with this guy's name.
Jirava, the fire and rock type, is no longer immune to fire damage. However, upon fainting in battle, they will erupt and deal back all the fire damage they have received throughout the battle.
Well, that's all the pals I have for you in this video. But before you go, there are a couple ways you could get your concepts featured on a future video. Submissions can be digital or on a clean, unwrinkled sheet of paper. Not an artist, submit a text-only dex entry. Tune in next time to figure out who's that Fakemon. Have any guesses on what you think it might be? Leave a comment. And if you ever feel like you've left too many comments, just leave 2 more. And please use this for your submissions. The more info you include, the more understanding I'll have while rendering your ideas. Understand that your submissions are not commissions, but commissions are prioritized. Thanks for watching until the end. I've decided to reduce my uploads to every other Wednesday at noon, and that's US Central Time, just until I'm finished with school. I may miss an upload from time to time, but either way, if you subscribe and ring my bell, you'll be notified of every upload. And until next time, adopt a bitch, but don't be a bitch.
Bye.